Hey guys, Trollzone HD here, today to play a game called 50 Shades of Grey Generator, which is actually one of my favorite games of all time. If you guys haven't heard, this game's really good. Fuck. So, alright. 50 Shades Generator. It was a bliss having his bald-headed yogurt slinger probed inside me again. Stuffing my soft-shell tuna taco with an egg timer just didn't get my quim ejecting like it used to. I can't wait to suck the Da Vinci load from one-eyed milkman, and the feeling of his ectoplasm foaming in my throat got my minge and mucus flowing quicker than a greased wiggle. Weasel shit. Okay, this is where it's gonna go. The mixture of hardened fudge nugget and steamin' semen in my brown eye created the delicious rectal stew that he was so fond of. Some girls are happy just to strum the banjo when they're done, or alone. But I can't get off without having a light bulb in my vibrator crater and a 10-inch purple battery-operated monster up my shit winker. In my English class, we're told a lot to analyze the text and apply some higher level thinking. Now, when I read this, on the surface, this is about, a 14-year-old who had a nightmare, of BDSM, experiencing her sexual fantasies for the first time. And these ideas, they're arousing. However, at the same time, they're horrifying. I mean, if we look here, we see one-eyed milkman and the use of monster. This suggests that, these people or these things, they're not human. She feels like she's not human. Her feelings are not human. And there's a lot of, you see a lot more parallels to this ectoplasm, that's something, I'm trying to find. Probed, which is an alien term, it's alien, these are alien feelings, that's what I read. There's also a lot of experiences with food, which suggests that she has a traumatic experience as a child with food. Shelled tuna taco is, is a metaphor for, the vagina. The yogurt slinger. That's a very, elegant way. The bald-headed yogurt slinger. Now, this is interesting. When I was bringing up yogurt slinger, I was thinking along the lines, as a penis. But when they say bald-headed, just think about that. Bald-headed. The bald-headed yogurt slinger probed inside me again. Again. When we read the word again, it repeats that this has already happened. It was a bliss. But if we read the monster and the one-eyed, it's a nightmare at the same time. She's confused about these feelings, but she also likes them too. And that's what I get from this. This is a really nice paragraph. The feeling of his gentleman's relish flowing down my throat got my minge monsoon flowing quicker than a greased weasel shit. After having my cod crater slammed, he then proceeded to raid my fart valve. The mixture of corn-eyed butt snake and Da Vinci load in my turd herder created the delicious rectoplasm that he was so fond of. My mouth was so full of one-eyed monster and mad magician's wax. God. The penis pudding, very nice, very nice. This is very descriptive. Was sliming down my chin and onto my boobage. 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 I woke the next morning with my chamber of squelch still seeping. I thought it was over, but his kebab skewer and skewer. They're like the same thing, right? Had other ideas. Alright. Now, when I read this, you might see a lot of parallels between the two. However, you might see a lot of parallels between the first paragraph and this paragraph. There's a lot of descriptions of food. There's also same items like one-eyed monster, which actually combine the two terms that we were talking about earlier, and a butt snake and things greased weasel shit. However, when I read this, it's definitely, even though they share the same they have similar features. Just saying that these two paragraphs are exactly the same is in fact stripping away these paragraphs' individuality as pieces of literature, fine literature. Now, here you probably are confused. Like, what are you talking about, Riley? You're freaking crazy. But the truth is, the truth is that this is in fact the greatest piece of literature known to man. Now, let's analyze this for a second. You see, the feeling of his gentleman's relish flowing down my throat got my minge monsoon flowing quicker than a greased weasel shit. You see, so let's just take this on a literal standpoint this time. So this first sentence is describing the deep-throating aspect and how she's in fact aroused by it. You might see a lot of parallels between the other one. Pretend they aren't there. After having my cod crater slammed, very interesting term because cod is a term for fish. And I was gonna make a joke about vagina and fish, but to be honest, I never got the correlation between the two. I mean, I get it, but I just don't see it. But anyways, he proceeded to raid. Now this is raid right here. Raid my fart valve, which I'm guessing is in fact the rectum. Now the fart valve is being raided. This suggests that she is not fond of this. She is aroused by the deep throating, but not exactly the raiding part of aspect. So this suggests that this person is pushing the limits of what she has, and the delicious rectoplasm that he was so fond of. Now, so fond of that he, not her. If you think about it, this is talking about rape right now. Now here is the one-eyed monster. Now you see how gentleman was used when they were both enjoying the incident, they were both enjoying the blowjob, and she called him a gentleman. But now, when we read this, he is a one-eyed monster. And you see, now when we read the final sentence, I thought it was over. She awoke the next morning and thought it was over. But his kebab skewer had other ideas. This is in fact a paragraph about rape. She thought it was over. But the next morning, his kebab skewer had other ideas, suggesting that the kebab skewer itself is an entity separate from her, from him, from everything. I'm sorry. I just need a moment. I need a moment to comprehend. With his 8 inches of throbbing pink Jesus hammering down into my game-on alley, the sensation of his womb, ferret smashing my cervix, made me quake like Muhammad Ali on a tumble dryer. I can't wait to suck the gentleman's relish from his batter blaster. The feeling of his gentleman's relish rolling down my throat got my shrimp sap flowing quicker than the snot off of a whip. Hours of thrusting like this would lead any girl's hairy goblet looking like a bucket of smashed crabs, and I was no different. The seemingly never-ending streams of steaming semen emanated from his disco stick soon had me coated like a plaster's radio. Now this, my friends,
This, my friends. I didn't think it could get better from the last paragraph, but certainly did. They just top it right now. Right now. This is amazing. This is amazing. So good. This is so good. Now here, as you guys know, my English teacher says, we always have to analyze our texts when we read it, and let's start reading it now. Now we realize what kind of person this girl is. Quick like Muhammad Ali. Fuck, I don't even know if illusions is the right word. Look at these illusions in here. Muhammad Ali suggests that she is in fact a fighter. A fighter. And coded like a plaster's radio. Only people who work hard, in fact, know what a plaster's radio would look like to be coded by. A bucket of smashed crabs suggests that she's also a worker. Maybe she worked worked in the fish market. Maybe she worked inside of houses as she painted them. Maybe she is a dreamer, like Muhammad Ali. It also suggests that she's heavily religious, as she mentions throbbing pink Jesus and ferret, two gods in separate realms, Now, we get all this description of her and who she used to be, but something that I found really interesting is that thrusting like this would leave any girl's hairy goblet looking like a bucket of smashed crabs, and I was no different. We hear all of these details, but yet she doesn't believe that she is special, that she's like these other girls, that she's different from these other girls. But we as the readers, we as the people who experience her life firsthand, we're there for her, and we know that she is in fact special. She is in fact special. Her hairy goblet probably doesn't even look like a bucket of smashed crabs. Maybe a bucket of tuna, because those two things are very different. You got the shells, depends if the crabs are alive or not, but nonetheless, we empathize with her, and that's the meaning of this paragraph.
Oh, God. Oh, fuck. Fuck.